behind you?
Something else, huh? Don't get that in Houston.
No.
This is an after-action report for the MysteryOps Jade Helm 2025 Survivor Scramble, a competition that I consider to be the ideal starter course for anyone who is curious about run-and-gun shooting events, or sometimes called two-gun biathlons.
Impact. Impact.
So why is this a great starter course? Well, first and foremost, these events are relatively low round count, especially the Sunday event. There's no mag dumping into targets, there's no endless running of drills back to back. And speaking of ammo, this channel now has a sponsor, AmmoSquared. If you're like me, you train hard and you shoot often, and you need a reliable source of ammo on demand. Well, AmmoSquared has got you squared away with the ultimate stockpile solution. They are America's ammunition reserve, and you can choose from over 70 calibers. You set up your monthly or quarterly budget, you just set it and forget it. AmmoSquared will curate your ammo in a climate-controlled facility, ready to ship whenever you need it. There's no minimums, no hidden fees, and some orders qualify for free shipping. It's also a great way to test out a variety of ammo and resupply your training ammo. Visit the link in the description today for a special offer, and you can help support this channel by supporting the companies that support me. Alright, back to the after-action report. I've heard from so many of you in my DMs asking for an entry-level recommendation, and here it is. Mark this one on your calendar as the first event to shoot if you're hesitant to just dive straight into the tougher matches that I've already covered. This is the perfect event to get your feet wet, literally. If you're new to my channel and you're wondering what I'm talking about, these competitions differ from your typical live fire match at your local range. This is a one-way cross-country adventure with 6 shooting stages along a pre-designated route. Competitors have to be self-sufficient, there are no resupply points, there's no battle wagons, and there's definitely no soccer mom carts allowed.
Ha! Gay!
No, you cannot drive to each stage either. It's just you and your own 2 feet.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, here we are, left.
Go through the gate?
Yeah, must be.
If you're a regular subscriber and you've seen my other events, you've kind of gotten the gist that each one of these events that I attend seems to kind of up the difficulty bar, where simply just reaching some of these stages demands pretty high levels of fitness and leaves anyone who's slightly out of shape on the struggle bus. Which, speaking of this channel, go ahead and drop a like and subscribe if you like this video, and go check out the rest of my videos after this is over. And that's pretty much all I cover on this channel, is kind of the more extreme side of shooting sports, with an emphasis on like physical exertion and real world natural environments. You're not going to see a lot of flat range stuff here on this channel. That was not the case here. Each one of the paths between the stages was intentionally easy. This was Sunday fun day.
Oh boy. You see that? We're getting in it.
Yeah, they'd probably save me a mile there.
Yeah, going way around back in the way we came.
A few moments later.
I don't see any more markers. There's one.
So if you want to dip your toes into this style of competition without getting beaten into the dirt, I present to you the MysteryOps Jade Helm Survivor Scramble. I will say that the water feature this time around was just a bit of a weather fluke. This was a runoff creek that's usually pretty dry at this venue. However, on Friday there was a pretty intense thunderstorm that pretty much kept me up all night and also left a lot of standing water. It's called Survivor Scramble because this is actually day 2 of a full weekend of shooting, and there was a bit of a theme here, right? This was kind of a end of October, somewhat of a costume contest, but also, you know, some themes. It's called Jade Helm. I'm pretty sure most of y'all know what Jade Helm is and its internet lore. The course itself on day 2, which is the Survivor Scramble, was a fast, short course that did not punish runners with an insane amount of elevation change or endless miles of trailblazing across jagged rocks or targets out at extreme distances. No, this was just a flat course that took place mostly on a double track road and sometimes on a literal road, and all of the targets were inside of 200 yards. Even better, you could actually run just a single weapon system, a PCC, which would dramatically lighten up your load, making this course even easier for the first timer.
Perfect place for another stage.
Yeah. I know.
Now, I did not read the emails, so I didn't realize that I could switch over to a single weapon system here. That would have been kind of cool. Oh well, my bad. Instead, I kind of went the other way. I chose to run in a plate carrier with a full load of ammo as well.
Engage left or right.
Now, you don't have to do this. You could pretty much run whatever you want. If you want to run in silkies and prison carry some extra ammo, you can do that.
Pretty hard to Texas here, bud.
Dude, the hills. Hill country with the clouds are just hanging out.
Likewise, if you want to ruck it with a huge pack, you can also do that. It'll certainly increase the challenge level, but no one is going to stop you. The only real consideration here is that you have to shoot each one of the stages with your kit. You're not allowed to just drop kit at a stage and slim down just to shoot. So keep that in mind if you do decide to ruck it or carry more than what is really necessary.
Yes, sir.
See ya. Good luck.
Carry on.
Now, if you're new to the concept of like cross-country hiking with a lot of load, I'd suggest that you keep it pretty minimalist, especially at this event where you could just run your single weapon system, a PCC. You could easily engage both pistol and rifle targets with a PCC, which will, obviously dramatically slim up your load. And this course was very shootable with a PCC as well. There were plenty of PCC guys that had clean runs and did pretty well in the rankings. Now, you will have to fight with environmentals. These events are rain or shine, and when I stepped off at like 8 a.m., there was some pretty heavy fog just lingering in the valleys, which honestly made for some incredible vibes. I was all about it, especially as that sun started to peek up over the hills. It lit the fog up like a California hill fire, but it also made for some challenging shooting conditions. Even though all of the targets were inside of 200 yards, they were obscured by the fog and the rising sun. So once again, if you're just running a red dot, which I've covered before, RIP, dude. In my opinion, you really should have at least a magnifier, and to be honest, the LPVO plus dot combo is really going to be your best bet and cover all of these different conditions. Yes, even on a PCC. If you ever expect to shoot in kind of the natural environment like this and not on like a well-manicured range, then a dot alone is probably not it, especially if you don't have blue sky conditions. Listen, if you only ever shoot on a perfectly manicured flat range that has nothing between you and your targets and their targets that you set up, then you probably have the wrong impression about the capabilities of your chosen weapon system and its setup. You're gonna get pretty surprised at how easy it is for targets to hide from you even inside of 100 yards. Good luck seeing that target in the bush at 75 yards. The real world is much harsher than it seems when you're fantasizing at work about your ideal setup based on all your internet research from people who only ever shoot indoors.
Fog.
Which way in the fog?
One, it's going to be in between the two we're shooting now. Straight down that cedar line.
That's it.
Go to the left.
Nice. 57-34. Clear. Yeah, he's just barely visible.
Yeah, the last guy,
Yeah, if you're
not a lot of
running like
mag on the
magnified,
scope, and just,
you're probably not going to see that one.
no, it felt bad because it's like, what do you do though at that point? It just kind of is what it is.
Yeah, I mean that's environmentals, right?
Yep. So,
Even like a 3x magnifier behind like a Neotech, that would have been real hard. I don't think I would have spotted it.
I've mentioned this before in a bunch of my other videos, but it's worth mentioning again since this video is focused on first-time run and gunner. Run and gun, the term, is a misnomer. You do not have to run between stages or even on a stage. In fact, I myself don't really run between stages. I jog some, and I sort of do like the quick feet shuffle thing. No, I did not come in first in running, but I was only about 7 minutes off from the fastest runner on this course, which is not an insurmountable pace to actually gain more in the ranking. But a part of this is kind of strategy on my part. Yeah, I could pick up my pace a bit as well. However, I do not like coming into a stage too hot. I preference my shooting performance over my course time, but that's totally up to you. If you are a super strong runner and a not so good shooter, in theory, you could come out here and just blaze like a super fast course time to make up for potentially subpar shooting performance. Personally, I would advise you to like flip your priorities a little bit, but hey, you know, you do you. In the past, I have certainly been passed by people who end up DNFing every stage. And if that's you, I'd say, hey, slow down just a little bit. Try to focus a bit on good marksmanship fundamentals. Also, I like to use Sunday Fun Day courses as an opportunity to kind of test out gear setups that I don't usually run. Like I mentioned before, I did run a plate carrier. That was by my choice, and in this case, this was an older Cry JPC that I've had for about a decade. I don't run it very often, and while it is dated, it's still a great setup. Plate carriers hold load very well, especially if they're set up properly. I ran 6 rifle mags, 8 pistol mags, along with a liter of water and a field toolkit. For the primary weapon system, I ran my night vision setup. This is an 11.5-inch BCM Mark II with a Surefire suppressor and a DNT Thermnight 335R digital optic on it. I was so impressed with this the last time I ran it at a night shoot that I've been wanting to test it out in the daytime, and it did great.
Hit. Hit.
This is a very capable optic, both at night and in the daylight, and it has a ton of features, including a day-night lens, obviously, a thermal optic, integrated laser rangefinder, and a ballistic computer that will show you your holds at distance. Now, I was wanting to test out the laser rangefinder in the day along with the ballistic computer, but like I said earlier, the targets ended up being inside of 200 yards, so really there was no point in testing that out. I'll do this again in the future as well. I will use this optic again in the future to hopefully test out the laser rangefinder. And I only used the day camera as well at this event, and it did great. I had no problem spotting even the furthest target that was obscured by the fog and the sun. In hindsight, maybe I could have switched over to thermals and seen the target a little easier through the fog. I'm not really sure. Does thermals cut through fog? I don't know. I know thermals can cut through smoke, but I'm not sure about fog. Either way, it made no difference. I ran a clean course and I shot well. I did end up going through only about 2.5 rifle mags. So yeah, I mean, I carried way too much ammo, but that's all right. Honestly, you can never carry too much ammo. The other piece of rifle accessory that I've been really jazzed about having is this Stoic Solutions rifle bag. It's attached directly to the rifle, and I pretty much never notice it. You're not having to like carry it around with you and clip it to your belt and then unclip it to use it. No, it's already attached to your rifle and ready to go. Like here, I mounted up to a T-post that was on the ground. And if I had gone metal to metal, like I've done before with your handguard just kind of slightly sitting on the T-post, it's a pretty unstable shooting position. You tend to slide around a little bit. But with the Stoic bag, it was locked in tight, making these shots no big deal.
Impact. Impact. Unload and show clear.
The other great part of the Stoic bag, of course, is when you African or safari carry your rifle. It's a nice little pad, kind of takes up the beat down of the metal on your shoulder across miles and miles of terrain. If you're interested in a Stoic Solutions rifle bag, check out the link in the description. My second line kit here is just my standard gun belt, which is a G-code belt with a bunch of T-Rex arms, Mars carriers, and a level 3 Alien Gear RapidForce holster. I'm a handful of events into using this holster now, and I gotta say, this is a really great holster. It sits tight to your hip, it doesn't flop around, it has nice, big, clunky parts, nothing that feels like it's, small and finicky and gonna break. Has a smooth draw, a smooth re-index, and if you're interested in a level 3 holster, you should definitely consider this one.
It's good. You got it.
All right, jumping right into the course, headed out from the starting point to the stages, was a pretty short jog on a road and across a real road.
Oh wow, did you look behind you?
Something else, huh? Don't get that in Houston.
No.
I did get a bit distracted by the vibes of the misty hills. I really had to hold back the urge here to just stop and watch that sunrise up over the hills.
Oh, here we are, left.
Go through the gate?
Yeah.
Stage 1 course of fire was 2 positions. First position was rifle at 80 yards, and then you finish off with some pistol targets at position 2.
Hit! Hit!
Safe.
Back here! Hit! One more pistol target. All right.
Path to stage 2 had a lot of wet grass. Boots were definitely soaking up all the water, but the vibes from the Misty Hills more than made up for that. Stage 2 course of fire was all carbine, with targets placed near the tree line. A little bit of fog here to contend with on finding these targets.
Make ready. Shooter ready. Ready. Stand by. There we go. Two hits? Yep. Was that 2 hits? Yep. Impact. Impact. See? Impact. 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 Unload and show clear.
And another short hike over to stage 3. Now the valley was really beginning to light up at this point, and the Insta360 camera really just doesn't do it justice. I mean, it's cool that I get to show you all these different angles, man, but what an incredible hike it was through this valley with the hills kind of rising up out of the fog.
Should have had breakfast earlier. I think I ate about 30 minutes before stepping off. A little too soon.
Stage 3, this was a straightforward pistol stage with a couple of flappers and then finishing off with a spinner.
It's good. You got it.
Come on, motherfucker.
There you go. 53-33.
Damn it, Eric.
So technically the second knockdown didn't get knocked down. It hit.
He called it.
I call it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
called it hit. Good. Yeah. If I don't have to go down and flip it over, whatever, you hit it.
Yeah, I mean it knocked it sideways.
Yeah. I saw it spin. I was like, that's
And then over to stage 4. Now, yes, I do know better. I should have reloaded before attempting that spinner. I don't know why I didn't. These spinners always feel like they need a little bit of grease, or maybe I just need to run a 10 mil. Stage 4 course of fire was probably my favorite. It was 3 positions and all carbine. The fog at this point was probably at its peak worst conditions. It had a lot of backlighting from the sun and it really obscured that last target. That last target was maybe only at around 150 yards or so, but it was heavily obscured by that fog. Competitors later in the day probably didn't have any issues finding it as the fog kind of burned off pretty quick.
Same one?
Same one on that one, and then one on the one to our left. There we go. From here.
Same ones?
Hit those 2, and then we're gonna try to find that one out in the fog.
Which way in the fog?
One, it's gonna be in between the 2 we're shooting now. Straight down that cedar line.
I see it.
To the left. Nice. 57-34.
Wet feet the whole way. In fact, the water never seemed to actually leave my boots since the grass was so wet. It just made my boots heavier and heavier. Stage 5 was another great course of fire. A rifle and pistol stage with some pistol targets placed pretty far out, maybe at like 50 yards or so.
Pistol right here.
Go.
I'm gonna do rifle first.
You do rifle first. Hit. Hit.
See?
Hit. 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 36.59. Nice start. Unloaded, feel clear. That is nice.
That suppressor gave me a kiss too, by the way.
Oh, it did?
Yeah. Thanks. Reminding me why I don't like to wear shorts sometimes.
Yeah, kiss of hotness. I just started using this Coltac muzzle or suppressor cover, and it's been nice.
Yeah, just enough to keep it from kissing you.
Yeah.
I need to maybe do that when I run shorts.
Yeah.
I picked one up off the table. I should have just put it on there. Stage 5 was a fantastic stage. Honestly, this one might have been my favorite as well. I don't know. Course of fire for stage 6 was a pistol burn down stage. It's just a ton of pistol targets, including multiple trees and flappers, and somewhat free range of motion here too. There was a few flags that you could not advance beyond, but otherwise shooters were pretty much free to move and engage as they see fit, which I really liked.
Through the mud?
Yep, to the pink flag. Engage left and right. 220.
And then an immediate exit stage right to get back onto the road for a long leg back to the finish. It's about maybe 2 miles or so just along this road, down through the valley and back into the stage. Eventually the road did exit into the creek bed, which was mostly dry, but had one section where it was pretty deep, fresh, like clean, clear water that felt pretty good. Honestly, it was a little cool, a little chilly. You had no choice. You did have to go through this water to continue down the course, which was, you know, very clearly marked with flags. Never really had any problems here trying to figure out where I was supposed to go.
Yellow. This is when I don't like shorts. Yeah, there we go. There's the home stretch. Shorts was a mistake.
And then a final cutover through doing some light bushwhacking here. You know, this is nothing too crazy, but also kind of cool. Bushwhacking through some of these strange plants here that are taller than me. That's kind of fun.
Woo! Slow going in there. Good. Trying to do this without hands though.
And then final thoughts. This was a fantastic course. This really was kind of the epitome, the very definition of a Sunday fun day. Now this was day 2 of a longer shooting competition. So, you know, I had day 1 already on my legs, and then this course here, it was great that it really wasn't punishing, right? It was a great note to end this weekend on, of really fantastic shooting. I will have day 1 video dropping probably early next year. I've got some other stuff in the works for this channel, and I have too much content to edit at this point. So thanks for watching. You know, I hope you do consider actually going to one of these events. If you're concerned about the difficulty level, then, you know, look for events like this to go to, the ones that maybe aren't trying to actually just beat you down into the dirt and make you quit. This course was not like that at all. It was really new shooter friendly, sort of, and it was also very much new run and gunner friendly, right? If you're a pretty good shooter and you're like, I can hike, then this is a great course to go to. Then you can kind of get that feel of like, hey, can I actually do 4 miles and shoot stages, right? I mean, if you've never hiked more than a couple of miles and you're kind of turned off by some of the events that I've documented that are like 10 plus miles, and you're like, there's no way I can do that, then start small. Start with a Sunday fun day course. You can do it. You know, just keep your head up and just keep your feet moving, right? You don't have to come out here and just run it. Nobody out here cares. You know, you can sprint it if you want. That's awesome. Maybe you'll get a high five. But also, if you just hike it, that's awesome too, right? Like, just survive, come out here, have fun, and you know, try your stuff out in the real world. That's really the challenge here, right? Just trying your stuff out in the real world and, you know, being self-sufficient, right? You're not going back and forth to your little cart that you rolled around and took with you to each little shooting bay. No, there's none of that out here. Just carry it your own 2 feet and shoot. See how you do. So thanks for watching, guys. You know, as always, send this video to your friends. Go out there and shoot with your friends. These are great as group events as well. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And, you know, as always, run, lift, and shoot. I'll see you next time.